Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to KeSPA Cup 2020. I'm Atlas, joined by Wolf, and we're up to the deciding game between NONGSHIM, Red Force, and Liiv Sandbox. Liiv Sandbox coming back with a pretty standard comp that I think a lot of us saw last year, but they piloted it very well, even though the game went a bit longer than maybe a few suspected after a really good early game led by Croco.
And, you know, I mean, the draft was smart from NONGSHIM too, and they took away the Jin, for example, which led us into that Ezreal comp because it looked like they were maybe pivoting towards that Jin and moving towards kind of like that more pokes-styled AD carry, strong against what we were seeing from Peanut in this game on the Kindred, but actually worked out really well, the Ezreal pick there in the end, and maybe they were going to pick it regardless. They did give some consideration to the Xayah as well, but I feel like I have a broken record on this, but we saw almost exactly the same thing out of Liiv Sandbox in the group stage all 4 games. Every single game, we saw Effort play Alistair. We saw Renekton 3 out of 4 games. It was double tank. We saw Nidalee as the jungle of choice, AP jungle. And it was very much just like, that's the way we're going to play this. We're going to roam, we're going to get ahead, or we're going to lose. And now we're seeing a slow game from them. Very passive, very safe. And Croco's Graves, top tier. So they could win this series. I mean, it's possible.
It is. I mean, I think we're going to have to really delve into the draft for this last match because, of course, NONGSHIM will be moving back to the blue side. We've seen that win twice in a row now. And so looking at where these bans are going to change, because I don't think Samira is getting through, for example. I think that there will be adaptations made, and we'll just have to see whether NONGSHIM have something more left in the tank to surprise this team with, because the Kindred didn't work. I think that comp really revolved around Peanut being in a good position, but he certainly wasn't throughout the entire game. So just kept down really, really well by Croco's pathing through the jungle. So Renekton going to be banned away here. The Croco has been banned, but the Aatrox is going to be the answer. And we'll see. Liiv Sandbox probably have to ban things like Pantheon and the Akali.
Yeah, they will have to ban at least the Pantheon now, you'd have to think. But the Akali is going over to NONGSHIM side. I think NONGSHIM is probably fishing for that Graves as well. It's been the most common blue side first pick throughout this tournament, so...
Yep, it will be Renekton, Akali, and Olaf most likely, and then first pick Graves. It's pretty standard stuff.
Yeah. The Olaf, you know, might not come through, but so we might see the Samira ban. Obviously, you know, of the bans left, like, you don't want Graves to get in there, but he's probably going to slip through. Otherwise, you give the Samira. The Olaf ban is smart for NONGSHIM because then they can make sure that Croco doesn't get that, but it's going to be the Lucian ban instead, which is another high priority pick, actually 3rd most bans in this tournament so far, just behind Pantheon and Akali, who have almost Pantheon is 100% banned, and Akali missed 1 game only. So.
Yeah, well, this ban's a tough one. So I really like what NONGSHIM did there. They just didn't take away the Olaf. They let Liiv Sandbox do it. And now they're just going to go for the Samira. So it does give Croco the Graves. I actually thought that because the Olaf ban came in, it does give Peanut a really good opportunity to go towards the Graves. But he is looking to try something else into it this time around.
It worked so well for Duck Dom the last time. I think that and also because Peanut's such an experienced jungler and has such a wide champion pool, even though Graves is so good, it feels like for NONGSHIM right now, the Samira pick is stronger. Effort gets his Alistair again, so comfort pick for him here. And, you know, I wouldn't have said the same thing about Graves until the last game, but it looks like Croco really has a great understanding of how to control the jungle with the Graves, so looks really good for the Sandbox so far here.
Yep, that Rakan coming back again, actually, here for Kellen. He actually had a great game in game 1 on the Rakan, so I don't mind it at all.
The knock-up and also the charm in the later part of the team fight can just help you secure those kills to get those resets.
And you can also follow the Samira with the Battle Dance as well really effectively. I love the Ornn pick up here. Deny it from Summit. Give Rich something that he can just be a blob on in the top lane and then team fight as well as he does, right? Rich is just such a good team fighter, so give him a champion that can team fight extraordinarily well. Fate probably not going to pick Vi here as KeSPA being considered. This would be the same bot lane matchup that we saw in Game 1, which is a little bit nerve-wracking if you're a Liiv Sandbox fan because Game 1 was won by NONGSHIM.
Yeah, it's also very scary because I don't know how well Root survives with this KeSPA versus all the potential ways he can get knocked up, stunned, removed from the fight, charmed if he tries to engage him with Killer Instinct. And KeSPA has just been the default, like, okay, a lot of other ADs are locked up, high-tier champion. It feels like blind picked a lot of the time. I think 5 and 6 in this tournament currently at the moment. And we'll see Fate's Orianna taken away here. It might just take away the Syndra as well in that second part of the second ban phase here.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where Bay actually lands on what he wants to do in that mid lane. We did see that the cheeky Twisted Fate, but I don't think he's going to go back to that one. Fate's champion pool feels a little bit deeper, potentially, but
Silas,
still going to focus that one out.
Yeah, he did play Silas, baited in his last game before the series, NONGSHIM's final game.
Yep.
Bit of a weirder game that one was, but see what the final ban is here. It seems like banning Zoe doesn't really suit the composition that Liiv Sandbox is going with at the moment, but they decide to go for it anyways. That's kind of a comfort pick removal here.
Yep. Also a bit of a congratulations to Fate for a phenomenal performance in the last game, so showing him the respect there, well deserved.
Yeah, respect ban, I guess maybe the nicest way to say that.
Yep.
And the most accurate way to say that. I think if you're going to take Syndra, you have to take it now. And they're leaning towards the Gangplank again. This did not work out the last time.
No,
so okay, they're going to take the Syndra.
Like you were going to say, the Syndra does come in. This does mean that something like the Echo is a possibility. Will be locked in immediately.
Instantly.
And there's a horse. Okay. Peanut is going to go onto the Hecarim this time around. We've seen Hecarim be good and bad so far, but it is once again another game where Peanut is going to be one of the carries on this squad. So looking forward to seeing what he's going to be able to get done here.
I wonder, you know, the ability for the Cannon Barrage to slow a lot of this composition can be very good, but I think you need something that threatens a lot harder in your top lane than a Gangplank. You need something like an Aatrox maybe. It's banned away, obviously, so we can't. They're going to go with the Shen top lane here.
This is the Killer United, though. I really like this one. The double shield onto the Kai'Sa when she, like, launches into the back line. Don't mind it at all.
But is it going to last against the ultimates we're going to see from Duckdom, especially once he has his Immortal Shield Bow? It looks like we're seeing even a better version, arguably, of what NONGSHIM already showed us in Game 1 against a composition that feels like a lineup of comfort picks outside of the desperate last pick Shen here. I really like NONGSHIM's draft. It feels like we might just see a repeat of Game 1 here.
We'll see what Liiv Sandbox can do in the earlier stages. I think I expect Syndra to have a bit of lane control early on, unless Bay is just a god on this Echo and gets a shove early. It will allow Croco to get in and be a menace. And so if Liiv Sandbox can very early on disrupt what NONGSHIM are trying to do, then I think they stand a better chance. But I mean, I'm looking at Ornn Samira, and I'm thinking, like, if we get to 30 minutes, NONGSHIM probably just win the game, right?
I completely agree.
The noodles are just ready.
Yeah,
at that stage.
I do feel that when you get to that late game and any long team fight, any time the shield bow is done, and then you see the Bloodthirster come through, we've already seen, those look like almost impossible team fights. There's so much CC to lock up Root when he tries to kill her Instinct, and even with the shield you were talking about there coming through from Shen. I'm not feeling great about this comp if they don't snowball the game before the mid game, get enough of a lead with that Graves pick, the Syndra you were talking about, control the mid lane. That's the only way this goes Liiv Sandbox way, I feel, unless we're going to learn something, you know, even more about the depth of this squad. I mean, there's a lot of rotation potential with that Shen as well.
Yep, we'll see how it is going to go. This is the deciding match between NONGSHIM Red Force and Liiv Sandbox. Let's get into it and see who's going to progress. Okay, already, Root taking a little bit of damage. Okay.
Just a little teensy bit. Teensy-weensy.
That might have been a Gleaming Quill thrown out by Kellen. It looks like that level of insignificant damage.
Yeah, I think so. Can't imagine what else it would have been. I think anything else would have been a little bit more damage.
Indeed. Ooh, we've got Conqueror here on the Samira.
Just looking at that myself. I think it works really well in this matchup, though, especially against the Alistar.
Yeah. Let's see what he does decide to go with here on this one. Will just be shield bow, though, but just allows you to get in amongst it a little bit more effectively.
Too big to fail, as Valdez said.
Yes, indeed.
I like the Hecarim into this as well. It's it gives you a lot of extra damage in the fight, AoE damage. That's going to help set up to get those final finishing blows off, those takedowns for Samira. Not to mention that it can be another deterrent towards the aggressive diving you might see with the Shen, dropping the shield and the killer instinct, just that extra fear, can be super useful in the team fights.
Yeah, I like it for the CC, plus the extra damage like you're talking about, because, yeah, you do need to get people low. Throw AoE in there, that's certainly helpful.
Yeah.
This is going to be a wet noodle fight, absolutely.
Yes. They're practically healing each other with every hit.
Yep. And I mean, they sort of are. They've got Rasputin dying. Faith taking a lot of damage here as the electrocute is procced. Spinner just going to helicopter around his jungle. He's going for skipping the Grump, but otherwise pretty full clear.
The Kindred was banned, actually. So Peanut didn't have the opportunity to play that one. I think that would have been a really nice pick actually in this game, arguably even better than it was the last game. But the Hecarim is pretty safe in the jungle. He's not going to get abused by Croco this time, like he was last time.
Yeah, I don't think so. I'll have to see where Peanut's going to head up. The thing is, like, the predictability of the Kindred makes her so dangerous against the Graves, especially in the hand of Croco, right? And on blue side, just wasn't able to get any of those marks going in the earlier stages. We did see Kindred picked into Graves a fair bit, but I don't know. I don't know whether it's necessarily what I would want.
I feel like people have such a better understanding of Graves now at this stage than even they did before.
Yeah.
Which sounds unbelievable because he's been played so much and he was played so much back then too. That era you're talking about, or World's Meta and stuff like that. But
yeah.
It's just terrifying what he's capable of. I think we're living in a world of Graves forever, basically, until he gets nerfed or someone else gets buffed. I don't know.
Well, we do have a trade Rift Scuttles this time. There's a pretty decent amount of damage out from Rich there. It is Bellows Breath Searing Charge combo. Very happy Penguin once again for Peanut. He's demonstrating a lot of happy Penguins today, so obviously having a good time in high spirits.
Yes.
On Christmas Day.
I'm sure he's no doubt happy to be back in Korea playing with LCK teams.
Absolutely. I think you know, he would have had a pretty good time over with LGD as well. You know, played with a few of his old friends over in China.
Yeah, LGD.
We've mixed a few people together.
Sure. He's such a cool legacy org as well. It's been around for so long. There's definitely a large amount of prestige that comes with that.
Oh yeah. A lot of good things, some bad things as well. Further you look back, but I've certainly always had a soft spot.
Hey, look, long-standing orgs always have bright spots and dark spots over the years of esports.
They certainly do. Certainly do.
But hey, if they made it for the long part, it's usually more bright than dark.
Even if you've got multiple world championship victories, things can still certainly get into some negative times.
Yeah, nothing is great forever. That doesn't mean it won't be great again.
Well, we'll see who's going to be great out of these two squads. So far, nothing's really happened.
Yeah, it's been a pretty passive early game.
Which I feel like it suits NONGSHIM, as they're the ones that have the Ornn. They've got a lot of scaling on their Hecarim as well. And Echo, who is going to struggle a little bit in the earlier stages, but so far you can see the Faye is doing just fine. A couple of teleports back in for both of our mid laners as Croco's standing on a ward, wasting a bit of time here at the moment.
Unfortunately, there's not going to be anything happening here. At least realizes the situation and backs out, because with Peanut rotating in now, it could have been even worse, but he had a nice ward there in the tri-brush to make sure that he wouldn't get caught with his pants down or anything like that.
Yep, control ward chucked into the brush here by Croco. Just trying to keep an eye on the chickens and what's happening there. And certainly going to help with being notified on where Bay is going to be.
Yeah, it's been a very, nice lane for Fate, even into the Echo here. And, he's going to feel really comfortable at this stage. Just went back to upgrade. Got his boots and another tome here. Helen looking to trade.
Yep. Headbutt back though. Battle dances, so he's going to be fine, but certainly losing out on that trade. Spreading the damage a little bit too thin here. As Helen takes all of it, whereas Root and Effort going to share.
I feel like there's no real pressure on NONGSHIM in the bot lane to make big plays because the power spike is likely to hit in an even game first for Duckdom. Just wants to build that shield bow, and for Root it's going to be a little bit more complicated in his path there.
Yep. Oh no, another cannon missed by Rich. And it's been gone for a bit of drive-by here. The Drake has been started. Haven't seen Telfire in a while as Effort goes in for another pulverize. Doctom going to get stunned up here as he dashes on forward. Effort looking to go down, but there's the Stand United from Summit to try and keep him alive. All the Forge God, that's a decent knockup, but only lands onto the tank. Summit trying to get out. Does dash, but otherwise not too much more is going to happen here as Fate fishing for a potential orb over the wall, but the Drake was stopped. So still some victories here for NONGSHIM.
For sure. I think they can get this too. I really like how they turn that, they focus not onto getting that kill onto Effort because he was super low, but actually Rich decided to look in and trade onto Summit to get a lot of his health bar down so they could just turn away and get the Drake, not looking for kills, but looking for objectives instead. Pretty standard play there from Rich, but it was a smart move.
Yep.
Killing Effort would have been extremely unlikely anyways, but he was just instantly ready to turn that horn around and make a big play out of it. Well, I say big, but as big as it has been here in this 0-kill game.
Indeed. As the dust settles, it is very, very even. This wave was stacking up. Summit's going to turn up to pick up absolutely everything. See that cannon minion? Oh, that's what we'd like to see.
Yes.
And yeah, so Summit with a bit of a blessing when it comes to the lane positioning as it moves back up, and Summit's going to be able to hold it here very, very nicely. So Rich is ahead in farm at the moment, but that is going to be very, very short-lived.
Some pings coming down on the NONGSHIM side. They thought that we might see a rotation in from Kroko, but he's actually on the rocks right now, and the ping came onto that just a few seconds later from Rich, I think, saying, okay, no, he is over here. Although it might not have been Rich considering where he's at in the lane right now.
Exactly. Rich does have his flash available. He's going to flash the smoke screen as Bay. Going to get tagged up. Killer Instinct not going to be utilized here by Root, as Doctom delivered more plates here on the bottom side. They are well aware of this Rift Herald going down, but they've got another minion wave taxiing on forward, and I have a feeling that I don't think this Rift Herald's going to be the value that they really want from it.
Yeah, I agree.
Parallel convergence, Fate taking a bit of damage there as Rich once again struggling, but this time at the hands of Root.
He's about to have his ult, so there's a lot of time he can buy here if they do try to dive him completely. And this is way more valuable. The gold going to Doctom is trying to rush out that shield bow. I feel like that's way more valuable than what we're seeing here in the top lane for Liiv Sandbox.
And also, these minions are just dying for free.
Yeah, there's like
no one's picking up this experience on the side of Liiv Sandbox.
Like Root, you know, he was up on CS, certainly just even now, and he's pushing top.
Oh, Kellen looking to try and get on in here. There's Rich trying to escape, but Peanut, a lot of damage.
He's got Ornhorn.
Yeah,
there it is.
Summit not going to be able to find that taunt. His Effort's going to get knocked up into the sky. More plates are attempted to be taken down. Yeah, it's like, it's just not working. Shelly will turn up, but this is still them trying to get out of a deficit, utilizing the Rift Herald. And I just don't know whether it's really worth it.
Yeah, the way the gold is funneled directly to Doctom is insane as well. Like, he gets all of the plate gold by himself.
Yeah.
Whereas this is split, and this is a hyper carry type situation with this this AD
And he might get first brick as well.
Yeah, it looks like he's just straight up going to.
Yeah, they're trying to deny these minions for some reason, but instead I think they should have been trying to get that first brick. Kellen going to be burning down here as Peanut picks up the kill. That's going to be first blood also going over to NONGSHIM as the horse eats the cow.
I mean, this is just a way better macro play for NONGSHIM, and NONGSHIM has been making really nice macro plays throughout this you know, this short tournament.
Yeah, Doctom's 1,000 gold ahead. This is absolutely so much better.
This is really reminiscent of all the lane swaps we saw from Rich when he was losing lane as well, and some of the other matchups in the group stage. And there's just no response to this on the bot lane. And yeah, okay, you're looking for Kellen, but you're going to lose Effort first. And he just pops down to Ignite, but it doesn't matter. You lose first blood. You're 1,000 gold down, but I think where the gold is in that shield bow that you see now.
Yeah.
For Doctom, which means now they're ready to team fight all the time. And if you look at the items of Root, he's still trying to stack up his tier. Like, this is a really weak AD matchup between these two until all that gets finished for the KeSPA. So, you know, you keep giving Doctom his Samira, and he's going to run away with it. But if you give him a Samira and a full set of turret plates.
What is this? 6 plates? Heads top lane gets those as well. It's a good knock up here onto Summit, who taunts his way out. Really do like the timing on that one, but the ghost going to come through from Peanut. Gets the flash out of Summit. Now Effort looking for some knockups. Battle Dance to help Kellen
Guess who
win out on this one. Yeah, I think it might be Doctom, but the stun is just brilliant to interrupt. Docdum still doing a lot of work, though, as teleport coming through from NONGSHIM. Misses the cube. Docdum still just looking for more. Oh, Summit's dead. Never mind. We'll have a look back towards the top lane now, though, as Bay does have his ulti available. Has to get out before Root is actually able to get on forward, and Bay baited into that one beautifully. That alliteration was a little bit odd. I apologize, but NONGSHIM not going to find too much more. Liiv Sandbox working out very, very well for them towards the top side, despite the gold separation still extending for NONGSHIM.
Docdum couldn't get great S because he missed that Q that you mentioned, so he wasn't able to secure the kill there. And then kept pressing forward a little bit, and I think there was a little bit of a baiting there for Bay, as you said.
Yeah, it looked like he was trying to go for the ulti. I saw the circle, but then immediately the interruption. But maybe I just didn't see something.
Nice play from Edward. He disrupted that pretty well. This is going to be a Drake attempt. Not actually going to complete because we just don't have anything else on the map. But
yeah, I think we call that a leash.
A leash, yeah.
As Graves going to come in, has that smite available, so it will be the Cloud going over to
hard leash.
Yeah. Is that like double Earth, Wind, and Fires that we've had? A lot of Earth, Wind, and Fire today.
I think the last game did not, but I think the first game did.
Yeah.
So yeah, yes, you are correct. This is the third game, yes.
Nice.
Good catch on that one. Well, look at this. This is when Docdum gets shut down there. Meanwhile,
he tried to do some spinning, I saw, but this was Peanut just smacking down something.
Like, I'm not sure why Summit didn't just peace out earlier, but got kind of nasty. There's the teleport back from Bay, but he stayed a little bit too late.
Yeah, he was trying to do tricky echo things and just got punished for it. Croco has one cool item. Gale Force sitting there lonely in his inventory.
No boots. He's walking real slow.
Yep. Don't need shoes if you can dash an extra time, know what I'm saying?
Yeah, just keep dashed across the map on cooldown, you know, to roam the map a little bit faster.
That's the plan, that's the plan.
It is definitely worth it to pick it up like that, but when you have no kills as Graves and you're not ahead in farm, you're not stealing a lot, you're playing a passive game against the Hecarim, like, that's as good as it gets. You don't get to build boots in this case, or you just can't fight, so...
And Peanut goes back. Trinity Force is completed, so this guy's huge on the Hecarim. Not deciding to go for the Divine Sunderer. I think that's what we saw on the Hecarim last time around. Just wanting to have more power right now, and that is a very Peanut decision to make.
He wants to do more damage faster, especially onto the KeSPA here. This is a comp, you know, that felt like maybe in the early parts of the game, Liiv Sandbox would have to be proactive. They'd have to get a lot of kills. They'd have to be roaming aggressively, but it's kind of been the opposite. They've gotten out macroed, and Docdum with all these turret plates is just sitting pretty.
Well, effort. Thinking about an opportunity here. Has his movies, but
he knew that Kellen was rotating up, so better of it.
Kellen in the area. Speaking of which, effort. Oh, not going to find the pulverize. Unbreakable Will coming on in. Does get the stun onto the Samira, but now they're trying to turn it. Peanut going to get in here pretty quickly. Ulti comes down. Docdum looking for a bit more, but doesn't quite find the extra damage as effort stays alive. And the Echo going to come through here as well. Peanut, in the meantime, is all the way north, just trying to kill as many people as possible. And NONGSHIM taking this fight beautifully. Docdum, it feels like he just baited everyone into trying to kill the Samira, and they couldn't do it. Dive in the turret here to double in the end, and only fate remains.
There's so much CC on NONGSHIM's roster, and Kellen is just sitting back, waiting for his opportunity to turn these fights. It was pretty straightforward there, unfortunately. Just Docdum is too fed.
He's huge. The Collector's coming in so soon as well.
Yeah.
Like, oh man.
Like, watch this fight again. As Kellen comes up, and Effort is like, okay, I could try to turn this, but can't. And look at the grade going up here. Then they toss a ward in just to guarantee the hit. So he comes in and pops his ultimate. Effort escapes for a moment, but this is when it looks like, oh, okay, wait, we're going to turn this into 3v2, and everybody from NONGSHIM is already pre-rotated towards this location. The Ornhorn comes through. Just better macro play out of this squad here.
Yeah, that control ward as well completely ruined Root's day. Just snuck back into the brush for Docdum, and in the meantime, Effort is struggling yet again. They will dive on forward. The continued advance here as Effort's going to go down, and Docdum going to get all the resets in the world. Double kill comes forward, and I have a feeling this is the beginning of the end. Kellen not even going to die as the gameplay button comes out, but Samira is dead.
Yes.
So that is good news here for Liiv Sandbox.
A lot of bounty gold coming through as well. Still has a bounty, by the way. 150 gold, but
didn't even get through the whole thing.
Yeah.
Some
big money coming through on the side of Liiv Sandbox for that kill. I actually didn't see who picked it up. I think it might have been Effort. I hope not, but
yeah, I don't quite remember, but we are going to see how this happened. Yeah.
It looks like he was just a living ward. He was kind of face checking out there a little bit too deep, and then oh man, Peanut is just having a field day in this game. He dies to the turret, but I don't know who gets the kill.
Oh yeah, the turret actually stayed there as Crocco's dead as well. Peanut getting some revenge. Horn blown here towards the top side. Rich is just going to go through Effort, but Headbutt Pulse comes down. That is going to enable the Killer Instinct, and Rich is like, guys, 3 versus 1, seriously?
Everyone's like, put the macro, put the bot push, look at the pings on the turret.
Yeah, exactly, think about what we're getting right here. And then he types worth in all chat, and then everything's just great.
Rich just gets his inner key removed again, and it's Snake all over again.
Yep. Well, Root's going to be able to take down this top outer turret, so despite the fact that, yes, it did take 3 people to take down Rich, not going to find too much more on NONGSHIM's side, so still a very good pick.
Yeah, definitely.
From Liiv Sandbox.
Just going to crash a wave into the bottom turret. And that's all he gets.
Hex Flash. I think Hex Flash was one of the greatest additions to League of Legends. I think
so
it's brilliant.
It's so good for tanks, especially tank supports, engage supports. It just adds so much more fun.
Yeah, exactly. It just does really just add. The fun quotient went up when Hex Flash was invented.
It's pretty big.
Yeah, real good. Big fan.
This is how the solo kill happens on the Crocco.
Yep.
Oh, I think I might get out of here. Oh,
yeah, he's like, I'm Gale Forcing, and then Peanut's like, I'm conquering.
And Peanut's like, I have quite a bit of items. My 4, 0, and 3, and early Trinity Force into Phage is starting to hit pretty hard, you know?
Yeah, he's getting pretty scary.
He's level 12 as well, 1 level up, adding to the fray. And Graves just doesn't really have any CC to get out of that one, or any escape. The Gale Force is only temporary.
Yeah, didn't have Flash either, so not a lot that he was going to be able to get done there. Is Peanut. He's going to find Root here towards the top side. Supercharger comes down. Oh my god,
Peanut is just like, this is my game.
Yeah, exactly. In goes Root, though. They're looking to try and lock down the horse. He avoids the taunt, though. A very happy Penguin, and not very happy Ornn, as Rich trying to get back to the rest of his team. Battle Dance is good from Kellen as he's using the Quitness Fate. He's just going to flash on in, though, and Doctor's the one that's going to fall. A bit of a disaster here, actually. He was just sort of caught out with the rest of his team trying to fight, and Doctor's like, oh, but guys. And then he's going to be taken down. So really good pick off here from Liiv Sandbox. Bit of a whoopsie from NONGSHIM.
That was about as safe as like walking on chopsticks taped together as 2 stilts. Like,
yeah.
Like, I don't know, that was, like, I just thought, like, there's no foundation for this rotation. Like, I don't know. I mean, everybody is split up here. Peanut, the initial idea with Peanut here, trying to get the kill on a Root, makes sense. He comes in, tries to set up for that kill. When it falls apart, though, and everybody else is rotating in, 2 teleports on the side of Liiv Sandbox. Peanut gets out and he's smiling, but Rich is not going to be so lucky. And Duckdom, he can't turn this fight. Everyone's too high health bars. They should have left right here just a moment before, but they got caught in this choke, and there's just no way out. Bay's like, ooh, where did I teleport into?
Yeah, this isn't where I parked my car, I think is what he's saying, is Kellen going to get taken down. Didn't have much context for that, but it's a dead Rakan. That's what we're going to take from it. Just Court Warden, I think.
Yeah, I think you were definitely right about that. You're sitting at the good old 67 ward score, so maybe trying to get that 99 maybe.
Well, Doctor, I'm going to have to just watch as his turret falls down. Now going to slash through these minions, and I think that NONGSHIM need to tidy up their gameplay just a little bit.
Yeah, we're past the point of just running around the game, or running around the map with tons of...
oh no, he just, he grand entered on the spot.
Yep. We're past the point of running around the map with everybody super fed and insane power spike advantages, like the faster shield bow and the Peanut getting a really quick Trinity Force. It felt like for a little while there, everybody could just do whatever they wanted, but now it feels like solo queue where it's like, you know, that guy on your game who goes 4-0 and then he thinks he can actually literally 1v5 for the rest of the game and ends up going 4-10. We're not quite at that point, but the way that NONGSHIM has played this game since their lead has been as if they're further ahead than they really are, and their power spikes, you know, we're starting to catch up on the other side. The Kraken Slayer's up, Lock gets up, and you know we finally have boots for Graves. Okay.
Yo, he's also collecting, but he's collected some brown bags. It's not exactly the greatest. Steric's gauge completed though for Peanut. He's super mega huge. He's a very, very scary guy to deal with. But I think Fate is slowly but surely building up to be a Dokdom killer. Yeah. He just presses his R button, and Dokdom can't really. He's like sitting there spinning, doing all this cool stuff, and then he's like, "Oh no, that's like 17 orbs in my head," and he's still gonna die. There's just not a lot you can do from a targeted ability that throws so much damage your way.
Yeah, not to mention the fact that like the shield bow can only do so much, right? He has to essentially come in and find big damage, or rather find big takedowns while he's doing it. Horn very aggressively here from the flank.
Yep, they do find the knock-up there onto Croco as well. Stand United coming in, but look at the knock-ups. Rich, this is the team fighting we wanted out of this guy. As Bay looks for the backline, they destroy Croco. Effort trying to run. Root still at very high health, as Dokdom is going to break all of them projectiles. And in goes Kellen. Grand entrance, fantastic. And Dokdom's just going to use his ulti to celebrate, clear out that wave. Very, very nice stuff. Is now Root, the last man standing. This may just be a Baron.
Looks like it. And there's a really nice engage there from Rich, but then also the follow-up from Kellen to make sure that it was guaranteed. The insta-blow-up on Fate. You talked about how Fate might be the one who takes out Dokdom in some of these fights, but not when he is the one who gets blown up right away.
Yeah, actually couldn't even use his ultimate. He was just dead.
Yep, stopwatch is broken after this fight as well, and not going to see Azonias for a while, if at all, fortunately for Fate.
I feel like Rich could probably come and contest this. As Teleport's going to come through, someone's going to try and guarantee the Drake.
Rich is headed elsewhere, I think,
he just didn't want to get Soul Point, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, Rich comes from the side here. Nice knock there, forces the stopwatch, and then as soon as Fate is done, he's charmed and knocked up by Kellen.
And his little rock placement as well, you know, throws down the Q, guarantees the knock-up on the Syndra, but gets 2 for 1 as far as that's concerned. Really, really nicely done from Rich in that team fight. Just showing the value of the Ornn, right?
Yep. Pretty nice little angle he had there. In the river, there's not a lot of room to work with.
Yep.
Well, like I said, they did not get the soul point, as they gave that up. For really not much on the map, just didn't want to take a risky fight there. They're so far ahead.
Yep, maybe just trying to potentially delay an Elder Drake or something like that. Maybe not wanting to go for one of these like 50-50s between Elder and Baron or something like that. There are some next levels that can happen there, but probably not the thinking. Probably just like, well, I'm just an Ornn by myself. I don't know whether I can fight Root 1v1, and not going to take the risk with the rest of my team guaranteeing a Baron. So that's what they're going to do.
Rich probably would have like said, I'm not doing that, and explained everything you just said in about 2 seconds, talking really fast. Like
I hope so, because Peanut was definitely like, don't let my dragon go! It's like, well, actually,
well, yeah.
Kellen getting through here. They're going to clear out as much vision as possible. You can see Liiv Sandbox doing their very best to hold on here as, oh no, Dokdom. He's been caught out a couple of times like this. It's not exactly what you want.
Yeah. It's a bit hopeful, though, with no follow-up, sadly. Scary. It looks scary when you see the stun icon there, but...
Epic comes through for the headbutt pole. Kellen standing just off to the side there to keep Peanut protected. Will do so. Dokdom gets all of that health back with the Vamp Scepter. I don't know whether he's quite got his Bloodthirst completed just yet.
Sure comms right now for Liiv Sandbox or watch the Ornn Horn, because they know Rich is on the side here and taking these choke point fights could be bad, but he's going to get engaged on. They're actually going to force the Horn out.
Yep, he's going to look for it. Does get a nice double knock up here as through the wall goes Croco. He's going to throw out a collateral damage there to help grab that kill. And it is going to be Root that collects it, but they do lose the inner turret on the top side of the map.
Yeah, all pings for Liiv Sandbox as soon as that kill came through, or we got to get this top turret defended.
Yep, now Kellen looking for an opportunity to dive on top of Fate here. Dokdom uses this as his moment to take down this inhibitor turret. And Dokdom's just going to break those orbs flying towards him. This siege minion is going to keep it alive for as long as they can. Is it one more? No, Fate picks up the aggro. Nicely done.
They're 7,000 gold ahead here. Or I guess 6,000 gold ahead. Sorry, miscalculated. But
yeah, they're real strong.
I don't know if they really want to force a fight here without Rich. There's just no reason to take the risk. It's winnable,
If they now, teleport's available.
Yeah.
Rich could get back.
I think they want to wait for next objective instead, which means we're going to have a lull state. There's not a whole lot going on the map otherwise.
Yep, Baron wearing off, so a bit of a reset. I would suggest collecting that Rift Scuttle, but not gonna do it.
The biggest win here, which is, you know, we're really reaching for Liiv Sandbox, is they kept their top turret alive. Top inhibitor turret stays up. So, you know, it's going to take a lot more for NONGSHIM. Like, they can't do anything with the advantage they have right now, very likely, unless they, you know, 5-man push. And even then, like, why would you do that? They're just going to kind of sit in lanes. The lull state that we have right now is the best case scenario for Liiv Sandbox because they get to farm a little bit and hope for a better team fight on what will likely be that Soul Point Mountain Drake.
Yep. Peanut has the Trinity Fusion now put together. Rich going to upgrade his stuff. We might have the Mega Dash Cannon coming in soon as the really immortal shield bow come in next.
The Bloodthirster's out.
Yeah, this is big. Another BF sword on top of Dogtown as well. He's just going to augment his damage further and further. Stun, not going to land there onto Rich, who's very close to 4,000 health with his Warmog's complete. Warmog's looking very pretty these days.
Yeah, Warmog's way cleaner than before.
Yeah.
Before it looked like when I wake up in the morning, one of my cats just had a...
yeah, a little bit.
Someone's gotten into the cat grass again, you know?
Warmog's looked like one of those like really fancy office buildings that have plants all over the walls.
Yeah,
know?
it's like, well, did we really, is this really like modern architecture, or were you guys just reaching?
Yeah. It's like, I know we wanted to like photosynthesize on our walls, but it looks pretty funny.
Think about a lot of health. What does that make you think of? A lot of plants. Well, does it?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, this one definitely looking much prettier. This looks like elven armor from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Absolutely perfect. That's what we're into.
The original dream fully realized in HD.
Yeah, exactly.
Digitally remastered.
It only took 10 years of League of Legends, and there we got there. Although some of the items not changing. I found another one, the Storm Razor.
Yes.
Still the same. So that, Ravenous Hydrant, Titanic Hydras, can't really talk about it as Dogtown once again going to be caught out, but he's doing a fair bit of damage on his way. Here's the Ornhorn, a little bit late potentially, but a couple of knock-ups, not too much more.
This is why they make you sign the waiver when you buy the Immortal Shield Bow. There are some asterisks attached. I mean, he was absolutely not where he should have been all by himself.
Good stun on the Peanut.
This
This is not a
NONGSHIM should
fight
push
that
it.
we want exactly. Bay, he's going to go golden, does have the ulti available. Going to use it on the spot. Flashes out, definitely dead. Kathy and Rain going to tidy him up. Have no idea what Bay was thinking right there.
Yeah, I mean, this is like, how can you lose the game, you know? Like, if you're asking that question, I mean, NONGSHIM's given some ways it could happen. Peanut is really trying to steal this.
He has his ultimate available. He can get into the pit, but the chain CC is really good. Gets in, steals it away, easy as you like. Now Root might have to deal with him. He will be able to do so. Now Kellen making his way back. Samira trying to keep herself alive to hold on to one of these Barons, but Rich makes his way out, and I don't know. I guess it worked out for NONGSHIM. They lost a lot of players, but they got a Baron.
Yeah, they got a Baron. The Peanut shot there, the martyr of this fight. Look at where Dogtown is. He just like dropped the ward. He's like, okay. He's like, I'm glad I dropped the ward so we can have the teleport to try to come and save me. And the Immortal Shield Bow.
Oh my god. Fate ulted him when he was at 100 health. It's like, wow. That's getting your feelings out right
We just really need this player to die right now.
Yeah. I think he didn't need all of those orbs. He could have thrown a piece of cheese at him and he would have died.
Bay just goes in, and Fate's like, yeah, okay. It goes golden. Bay's like, oh, I could do that too, but probably shouldn't have.
Yeah.
Imagine how much scarier this Baron fight actually is for Liiv Sandbox if Bay is here as well with Rich and Peanut trying to delay this and actually set up for the steal. He does get it with the ultimate right across the wall there.
Oh dear.
Croco was like, this can't keep happening.
Yeah, exactly. Croco having a rough time. He did have a great smite in the last game, but that was not the one.
NONGSHIM versus Liiv Sandbox Episode 3, Revenge of the Peanut.
Oh man, we got a whole bunch of upgraded items here. Kellen's got his upgraded Amplify Your Damage support item. Pretty cool stuff. I don't know what that's called at all, so I just decided to call it what it does, which might be more helpful, who knows.
Yes, I think I would agree with that.
The really immortal shield bow has been completed by Dom as well, so it's going to be tough to kill him unless he's standing by himself in the river, which is what happened last time. Likely that he won't make that mistake again.
I mean, look, you've got an Ornn here. Drake is up in 2 minutes, so that's a long way away. You want to try to take, I mean, you're still ahead in this game. You want to try to take something here. You want to try to take a turret, but every time Liiv Sandbox comes in, I do kind of hold my breath because it feels like there are ways that this game goes back into their favor.
There's the Ornn. Tags effort, good knock up there on the root in the back line. They're just trying to buy space, but oh my god, the AoE damage is disgusting. Peanut steals one of the kills, but it's going to be a quadra off the back end. Dom just ending this game. GG. That'll do it.
There you go. You know, they could have played it safe. They could have just waited, tried to chip away, and then went for the Mountain Soul, but you know what? It's more fun to just Ornn in and spin to win.
Yep, there was a lot of spinning actually. That helicopter horse was getting on in there. So much AoE damage, and Dom, he finished a couple of extra items before this one, and that was not close. But once again, playing with their food a little bit on the NONGSHIM side, so certainly was a drawn-out series between these two. It's going to be fun checking them out as we move towards the LCK for spring. These two teams are going to probably be fighting for that middle to top of the pack once we get there, so certainly very cool stuff.
And I believe
these squads.
I believe that means NONGSHIM faces off against Damwon now in the semifinals, so that's going to be another rematch. So you know, we're kind of keeping things group segregated.
Oh wait, no. They're on the other side, so they're against KT. I think they're against KT.
That's what makes sense. I actually think the bracket yesterday said that was not the case, which really made me sad because
there was some really weird stuff as far as the bracket.
I hope you're right, and that I'm wrong.
Yeah. I think that's how it was, because I think that Group A...
Because that's all that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
If it's not like that, then we're going to have to raise some eyebrows again, but I think you're right, and I hope you're right.
Yeah.
And watch this last fight again as Kellen goes in as well.
Oh, the Kellen value was just massive.
When you look at this draft and what it's built to do, it feels terrible for Liiv Sandbox, and when you give a whole set of turret plates and first brick to Dom as well on top of that. I mean, it gets like more plates in the top lane after that. You're like,
are we really doing this? Are we just going to feed this guy? I mean, he was standing by himself and got caught out a couple of times, you know, like maybe if that Baron Smite had have come through from Croco, like maybe there are these things that they're going to be scratching their heads about. But
yeah, it's like, well, if he's not playing the game, maybe we can kill him. Like,
if he leaves,
if he took a bathroom break in the middle of the game, like maybe there's a chance.
Yeah, but you know, he builds a stopwatch and then doesn't die to Fate throwing out his ultimate. I mean, I think that they were putting a lot of stock in Syndra dealing with him diving into the backline, but if he's zoned out or if he has to use it on somebody else, then game over. We saw that in the final team fight. It's just fun watching Samira, man. It's like hyper mobile, easier to follow Katarina.
Yeah,
in my opinion, because the Shumpo, like, she just appears in different spots, and my brain explodes when I watch Katarina. But still, we might get both of them, which is very exciting.
It's definitely a possibility. It's something like, you know, chances get higher every day.
Exactly. The closer we move to Showmaker being able to have a good time in some of his upcoming series.
I think he's gonna have a good time no matter what happens. I would say.
Yeah. No, I mean, he is Showmaker. I think that's going to be a toughie. That's going to be after the result of Gen.G versus Hanwha. We'll find out who is going to be facing off against the Titans in Damwon. That's
I believe that's correct. In that what I had in my head, which was what a graphic showed me, is not correct.
Yeah, I think we'll probably bring that up again when we're going to show you what our next match is going to be, so we will be able to confirm what's going to happen.
Because otherwise, it's kind of a not as fun semifinals, is it?
No, no. And I think it has to be cross-group for the semifinal. I think it's cross-group.
That would make sense to me.
Which is, yeah, that means that Hanwha has to be in the other one. And
yes, it'd be...
Yeah,
Hanwha would face off against, if they win, they could face off against Damwon, and then
that is how it's going to work. That is how it's going to work. So NONGSHIM versus KT, that's going to be an interesting series.
Yeah, that will be.
I'm excited about that.
That'll be interesting because KT had
looked
really
good.
4-0. They went even won that fourth game with their second roster. Not to mention won a game they shouldn't have won necessarily, which is like what these games for NONGSHIM might be looking like. So A very terrifying opponent indeed in KT Rolster.
But we get to figure out how much further ahead Group A were in comparison to Group B, right? Because Group B, you know, we had a couple of academy teams, you know, it wasn't necessarily looking like a group that was as strong, but KT still went 4-0. What does that mean? And I think bringing NONGSHIM against them will really give us that measuring stick as to just how strong they are.
That's why it has to be cross-group play.
Yeah, exactly. And I kind of would have liked it in this these first couple of games for that to be the beginning of the cross group, but it's fine. You get what you get, and that's okay, as we are going to finally be delving away from those groups.
Yep. We're going to hit some highlights once they're ready and up to go. It was a bit of a longer game, a lot of team fights, a lot of probably going to watch a lot of Peanut horsing around.
Yes, he was definitely doing that.
It's going to be one of those fights where Effort is like, I'm going in, got this.
I mean, that's like, feels like all of the fights, you know? It's like live and die by Effort going in.
That's why he has to play Alistair, right?
Yep. Oh, that pulverize is so good. Effort somehow stays alive for like forever because Bay comes up. He's like, I'm gonna get you, and then he gets pulverized, head putted over the wall. Oh man, Bay didn't have a great time.
You know, Rich actually got that kill too, in another world where it was actually a little bit more damage. Like that could have been another kill for Duck Dom in that early mid game.
Oh god.
Oh.
This is actually a cool opportunistic play here. Summit barely missing the taunt as Peanut sidesteps it really nicely. This is where it all went wrong, though, because it's like Doc Dom's like, all right, guys, get behind me. Let's do some battle. And then Effort's like, no.
This was the first time where it felt like NONGSHIM overstepped their bounds because they had control of the map. They were out macroing, and it felt like they could do anything. This is when Rich just is like, okay, here we go.
I win, actually.
Yeah, sorry, Fate. No way out of this one. He's able to stopwatch for just a moment. Then gets charmed, knocked in the air, and sent to the Death Realm. Yep. Or whatever you guys call that where you're dead. Is that what you guys call that?
I call it the Death Chamber.
Death Chamber, that's right.
It's fun.
It's not the Mordekaiser roll, that's a different thing.
Yeah, you can call it the Death Realm, though. Yeah, we've got one of those as well. But often that represents dying, also.
Well, this is when Duck Dom decided that he was...
Life didn't suit him.
Yeah. He was like, well, let's just see. Let's find out just how good this champion really is.
Am I at 1v5 levels just yet? This is where Bay didn't really know what he wanted to do. Rich and him go in, and Rich is like, actually, the water's a bit cold. I'm hopping out.
Yep. Okay, this is the Peanut Martyr moment. Where
we call it a drive-by.
Drive-by, zoom in. Goodbye.
Yep.
Unlucky timing there for Croco. And then the observers just zoom in on Peanut's body to let everyone know that he was the hero.
He was. Not sure if he's the hero we deserve, because this was all Kellen that wins this fight towards the end. Rich had one, Kellen definitely had one. This was extraordinary. Gets the quad charm and all of the AoE damage.
This actually just is sad. Like, it's really satisfying to watch if you're a NONGSHIM fan or like to play Samira, but otherwise you're like, whoo, avert your eyes. This is about as clean as it gets of a team fight there.
Root did a lot of damage, wow.
Yeah, certainly
impressive stuff.
It was a lot, I think, about the CC and the solo picks and the map rotations we saw from Red Force more than just their long-standing damage in team fights. They had so much CC, from fears to knockups to charms.
And their mobility was also very high with, you know, Kellen can bounce around everywhere. Hecarim runs extraordinarily fast, and the Ornhorn has such a huge range, right? So they can be very slippery, not to mention Echo as well, who didn't really participate all that much in this game. I think they could have had a better performance, but wasn't all that necessary in this one. I think they just got Doc Dom enough money, and then he carried the game, which is a completely valid way to win.
Yep, well, here's our results, which is probably the most basic graphic you'll ever see in the esports tournament right here. There you go.
Yep. NONGSHIM Red Force won the series.
Yep. There was that moment where they didn't win the second game, but then they won the next one. And yes.
Haha!
Okay, so what I saw before was incorrect, and I'm so glad to hear it, because this is the matchup we really deserve.
Yes.
KT versus NONGSHIM. We don't want to watch Dom1 versus NONGSHIM again.
No, we don't need that. We need to go across the groups.
Unless they win against KT and Dom1 also wins, in which case we will see it again, but in the finals.
Yes, and that could very well happen. You know, we'll have to figure out just exactly how strong Group B was. But not going to be able to find out just yet. That will continue in the semifinals. I believe we'll have the Dom1 semifinal first. That will be coming up tomorrow. But that will be after Hanwha take on Gen.G tonight. So we've still got one more best of 3. This one could be a little bit shorter than this one. That might have been the closest series that we'll get for all of KeSPA Cup, but I am certainly making assumptions. We'll have to see whether Gen.G are going to be able to step up to the plate to try and take down Hanwha like they were unable to do yesterday. But that is going to do it for now. We'll have a short break and we'll get back for our second best of 3.